Can you talk to us about leaf mold and how you get that?
Leaf mold is what happens when you're like out like under a tree or in the forest or something like that. And all the branches and all the leaves and everything that may have grown and then died and then grown and then died, they all start to collect, and they are what is making up your soil. It's all mulch. So that's another thing why mulch is one of my favorite things to have around. It's great when it can help keep your soil moist. But even better is the breaking down of the mulch. Just because the leaf is dead doesn't mean that it lost the nutrients that were inside of it. It's still stored in there. As it breaks down in mulch, as it becomes leaf mold, is when things like fungi and bacteria and other microorganisms start coming in and decomposing and breaking it all down for you. Now, when they come in to decompose and break down, those are the guys that are feeding your plant's roots the nutrients that came out of that mulch. So one reason why we always say to chop and drop it, if you're cutting it off, just leave it on the ground or on your bed, whatever setup you got, and just kind of let nature do the rest. As long as you've got a healthy dose of microbials, fungi, bacteria, nematodes, protozoa, worms, just things breaking down that matter for you. They do all the work so that you don't have to. So leaf mold, there's a few things you could do to go out to the forest to collect it and bring it back. You could, JADAM's way of grabbing microorganisms and bringing them back into your garden is to go out and dig, preferably under like something where you've seen a tree that has fallen down and a lot of dead material has already decomposed and new life has already grown on top of it. If you dig underneath that, that's where you could find all the fungi and all the mycelium, and that's where you know that you got a good network of leaf mold soil down there. Like, it's hardly recognizable anymore. It sort of looks like soil, but technically it's not soil. But what is soil made up of? You know, it's made up of mulch that's been decomposed time after time after time after time. And so you grab a handful of that and you could bring it back home and you can make JADAM Microbial solution. And sort of the same thing as a compost tea, where that you're giving it some carbs to feed it, like a baked potato, a little bit of that sea salt in the bottom of the bucket, and you let it sit in the middle of the bucket for a few days, depending on the temperature. And there'll be a ring around the edge when the microbes are ready. It's like I think that might be an outcome of yeast or something. Some type of action is happening in there that causes that ring of bubbles to happen. And once you have that ring, it's a perfect opportunity. You got to use it immediately. You take that big bucket of 5 gallons, you mix it in with maybe another 20, 30 gallons of water, and you apply that to all of your plants to introduce all those microbials into your plants, into the soil.
This clip is brought to you by AC Infinity. Use discount code MrGrow at 15 to save on any of their products.